functional. So why grammar here? Why do we need to know about grammar? We need a theory of grammar or language which help us understand how text work. Yes, that's correct. So grammar is important, of course, in producing text, and also based on the knowledge of the grammar, we know how text work. As teacher, we need to know how text works, so can expressly help learners how to understand the procedure text. So here is our purpose, that we as teachers should know how the text work, the structure of the text. All right. So it is for our knowledge, and then it should be for us if we know the structure of something, and then when we teach writing, for example, to students, we already know that, yeah, we as teacher already know the structure of the text, for example, of whether spoken or written text in various contexts for various purposes. And then yes, that is the variations of the text. It can be spoken or written. It depends on the text and purposes. Several years ago, one of us overheard. Sometimes because this one is edited book, so maybe you will find some mistakes here. I think overheard. Several years ago, one of us overheard a conversation between between 9 years students and his geography teacher. This is the example. The student was asking the teacher why he received a low mark for his project. So maybe the teacher asked, sir, why do you give a bad score for my project, for example? And then the teacher responded that the work just didn't hang together. In this case, the student's writing from one sentence to the other, from one paragraph to the other paragraph, doesn't have good connection. It's not connected well. It is not coherent, right? The boy asked, but how do I make it hang together? So how to make it coherent? The teacher responded by suggesting that the students make the word cohere. Then the teacher says you should make everything of your writing, of your report, of your project are connected. So that is the complete work. Maybe the teacher assumes like that. This example is not to criticize students or teacher. The student would have made the text hang together in the first place had he known how. And the teacher would have explained in good faith had he known explicitly how text, especially paragraph text, work. Here, systemic functional grammar or systemic functional linguistics presented in this book, perhaps more than any other theory of language explained. So we are going to explain. This book explains how text, including written in school, works. So if we want to teach our teacher how to write, so of course we have to know first how the text is constructed. What is the structure of the text, right? Maybe it's an obligation for teacher, it's a must for teacher to know the structure of the text. Okay. We would like to compare. I will compare. The concept is that there are some differences here between traditional and then the functional grammar. Look at this. So because in this book, it is about functional grammar. So why is traditional grammar? So the traditional grammar, I think in simple way, the grammar that you have studied in the previous semesters, like including the syntax. What is traditional grammar? Here is the explanation. Traditional grammar aims to describe the grammars of standard English by comparing with Latin, the standard of English. So if you don't follow the rules, so it means that you use not the standard English. As such, it is prescriptive. So prescriptive means it is about rules, about correct or wrong when you are making sentence. Students learn the names of part of speech. Yes, you learn the part of speech, right? What are nouns, verb, what are prepositions, adverbs, adjective, past textbook sentences, and learn to correct so-called bad grammar. So if you not follow the rules of the grammar, so you will taught as the bad grammar. Writers are taught, for example, not to start the sentence with an. So this one is the rules in the grammar. Don't start your sentence with an. It breaks the rule. It's not the standard English. So maybe you were taught so. To make sure the subjects agree with the verb, time flies, not time fly like an arrow. So this one is about the agreement. So the subject should agree with the verb. If the subject plural, so the verb should be plural too, and vice versa. To say I did it and not I done it. So this one is incorrect here. So that is about the traditional grammar. So it's all about the rules, about the what is that? The rules or the pattern. Traditional grammar focuses on rules. So I said so for producing correct sentences. Yes, in traditional grammar, we focus on the rules of producing correct sentence. In so doing, here there are two main weaknesses of the traditional grammar. First, the rule it prescribes are based on the language of a very small group of middle-class English speaker. Yes, the standard English is only used by a small group of middle-class English speaker. Thus, it can be used to discriminate against the language of working class, immigrants, and Aboriginal students. While they here, the classes that are mentioned here, using maybe the non-standard of English, like what we have in Indonesian language. I think for the formal standard of Indonesian, it is only used for the formal context only, right? Or for the academic things when we use the very formal Indonesian language. The rest, so you use the non-standard Indonesian, right? So that is the weakness. Secondly, the second weakness is that the rules deal only with the most superficial aspect of writing. All of the rules we learn from the traditional grammar, we apply the rules and context only, not for the spoken one. Following the rules in no ways guarantees that written communication should be effective. No, because if we follow the rule of the complete sentence, for example, so you will say that, hey, when I talk with you, 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 you speaks like a book where you nothing but in the context of the written language of the standard English, like that. Well, this one in functional grammar, look at this. Functional grammar view language as a resource for making meaning. This grammar attempts to describe language in actual use, not only in the specific context for the middle English, middle user of English. This will be about the language in actual use. It is real and so focus on the text and in what channel, like that. Then there are concerns not only with the structure here in the functional grammar or functional linguistics. We are not concerned not only with the structure, but also with how those structures construct meaning. We will know then how the structure constructs meaning. How is the what is that, the structure of a text, for example. Functional grammar start with the questions: how are the meanings of this text realized? Okay, look at this. So this one is the summary of the difference of formal or traditional grammar with the functional one. For the formal or traditional grammar, the primary concern, this one, the primary concern of the traditional grammar is how is or should this sentence be structured. So you have to follow the rules how to combine words into correct sentence. That is the traditional grammar. And then the scope is sentence, right? While in the functional one, the primary concern is that how are the meanings of this text realized? Look at this. It's not the structure, but the meaning, not sentence, but text. So we have the larger analysis, I think. For the traditional grammar, the largest unit of analysis is the sentence, while for functional grammar, the largest unit, our data, would be text, not only limited to the sentence, but the whole text, not sentence in isolation. We will try to understand the concept then by practicing it. So this one, yeah, still the concept. And then for the traditional grammar, the unit of analysis is the sentence, yes, as I told you before. While in the functional grammar, the unit of analysis is the full text, the complete text, not only limited to sentence. For the language level concerns, in the traditional grammar, it is analyzed syntactically, syntax, in the level of syntax. It's all about structure, right? You maybe you can recall your experience in learning syntax, that you need to describe the largest unit is the sentence itself, and then you have to analyze into the smallest unit. The word here, semantic analysis. Already get the semantics subject in the last semester with me, right?
Suaranya
Yeah,
putus-putus.
with me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Ah, suaranya putus-putus.
Iya, Pak.
Iya, Pak.
Okay, the connection is the connection and quite sleepy. That's good, I think. So I can easily connect the material in semantics and then the analysis here in a functional grammar. Second, I'm going to switch the connections with my personal hotspot, my mobile phone. Okay, and then connection internet, and then mobile hotspot. Turn off. Yes. Let's switch the connection. My connection name is Galaxy. The internet connection. Okay. Can you hear my voice clearly? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir.
Based on the analysis semantics, so we will analyze. So maybe you still remember, like the subject can be act as the agent, as the sensor, as the what else in the analysis of semantics. Do you remember? Beneficiaries, right? Experiencer,
Instrument.
theme, yeah, like that. So it will be the same, but with different terms, but we will do the same. And then based on traditional grammar language, a set of rules for sentence construction.